good.
Okay, call out the questions. Oh, we're already live here, I see. Boom. Yeah, I see the hearts coming. El Guapo, yes. Is the man with the beard. I'm doing a little Santa Claus thing here.
Bas Rutten, welcome to Karate Combat 43 Fight Week. Super pumped to have you here in Vegas. What's the thought? What's going on in your mind right now?
Too many fights, too many great fights. You know, of course, Benson. I just saw Benson downstairs. Of course, he's in shape. He's going to be good. That's going to be a crazy fight. Can he do Showtime Pettis the same thing that he did 13 years ago? That's going to be fun. You know, but Omar Molina, finally we have her back. I heard, you know, we've been working on that for quite some time. And for her to have a title fight, I think it's well deserved. 4-0 is great. But the great Raymond Daniels. Oh, let's not forget Ross, of course. With Sam Alvey. Ross, in my book, he could be the most complete fighter. He's so in control when he's fighting. So for him to go up at a heavyweight, oh, I pushed this double button here. See what I did? I got the same one. So for him to move up a weight and then go for a heavyweight title, that is freaking awesome. So yeah, I can't wait. Elijah, I'm looking forward to pretty much every single fight.
And talk about being in Vegas. I mean, the fight capital of the world. Do you have any specific Vegas fun stories that you can tell on air?
Oh, yeah, that's the thing, the telling on air. No, you know, just great fights. I was here for Tyson. I was for, you know, we had this, a good friend of ours had a private jet, like a G5, all the way back. So that's why the G5 was the hardest thing. And he would fly us over just to watch a boxing match and then fly back in the evening. I go, dude, it's fun to have a lot of money, right? Then it's nice. No, Vegas is just Vegas, man. It's like everywhere. Like at the airport already, everybody starts, you know. And I don't know how they do it because I'm wearing a baseball cap with the beard. Hey, you boss. Oh, the guy pulled up a picture. That's you, right? They go, yeah, but without the best up face because it was right after the fight. So Vegas is just Vegas, man. It's all fighting, and I enjoy it because there's a lot of fans always. When I'm here, that you get stopped on the street the whole time.
Now, again, to take it back to this main event, Pettis versus Henderson 3, what does this sort of say about the direction of Karate Combat moving forward?
I think it's great. It means that we mean business, you know. I mean, to put a fight like this on a show, I started thinking about it. Why did it never happen before? Why didn't anybody else come up with an idea, even if it's in mixed martial arts even, you know, to do it one more time? So I think this puts on a map. I think that another really good sport was with Rafael. When the GOAT was Agaev was when he beat Raymond Daniels. That was, I mean, if I had to bet a house at that time, I would probably put it on Raymond Daniels. You know, so that for Agaev to come in, that put Karate Combat on the map, put karate on the map. Now they go like, oh, this is not just point karate, guys. This guy actually beat like a freaking high-level fighter, striker. So that together with a card like this now, spending the money on guys like that, I think it's, I don't know what they get, but I'm pretty sure it's not cheap. And it's well deserved. You know, both these guys are still in their prime. People always go, oh, they're getting older. I go, dude, you're strong. I'm 42. I felt great when I was competing, so.
Talking about, you know, because we got Raymond Daniels back on the card fighting Adrian Hadraveyev, and he's kind of more of an unknown guy. This is his second fight in KC, and he's taking on Raymond Daniels. That's kind of a tall task for Adrian. It's
a very hard task, but you know, the first time he left a really good impression, Adrian did. Very solid, very methodical in his actions, what he's doing. I think the only way for a guy like Daniels, I hope he has a boatload of stamina, because if I would fight a guy like Raymond, I'm in his face the whole time. You can't give that guy space, you know, and pushing him back, for a lot of fighters, fighting backwards is the hardest thing to do. Of course he can, because he's freaking Raymond Daniels, but still, it's always less than moving forward. And, you know, those crazy long legs, you gotta close the distance and be on him the whole time. Takedowns, all that stuff is very important. So that's the great thing about karate also, the rules, the takedowns and the ground and pound. That's why this fight is so interesting with Pettis as well, because Benson is a really good wrestler. You know, you better believe he's going to use the ground and pound rule. You know, he's going to take him down. He's going to start striking. So, and then I want Pettis. Can Pettis do another crazy thing that he did with the Showtime kick off the wall? But now it's easier, kind of, right? It's a 45-degree angle. So, yeah, man, it's a super exciting show, the entire show.
Anthony Pettis and Raymond Daniels both said in their head-to-head interviews that they would like to fight each other sometime in the future. What do you think about that matchup, Raymond Daniels and Pettis? What do you think of that?
That's a clash between two strikers, of course, and the super creative Pettis. I like the things that he does, you know. And Raymond that's a whole different. That's a video game, and you can make up moves, and he actually does it. It's just the most insane thing ever. But I think with, for instance, with Pettis, what he did, he changes one little thing, and that becomes very effective. What he did, for instance, against Wonderboy, and Wonderboy is a phenomenal striker. I remember him pushing himself off, and he knocked him out. Now, what everybody does with the Superman punch, they all throw across. He threw a hook, a right hook. You see, and that's completely because he comes forward and they think, oh, they're already blocking, and pop, he looped around with the hook. That's what I like in fighting. That's why the guys like Sakuraba and Israel Adesanya and all these guys, they do things different. If you're different than your opponent and then your training partners, you're going to be successful because you present them something they've never seen before. If you don't recognize a certain setup, you're done. You know, and it's the same with submissions. If it's all about the setups to go to a submission, and if you can be a high-level guy and they see a lot of things going, but still, if they didn't detect a certain setup before, you might catch him. You catch him once because they're freaking black belts and they will never make that mistake again, and they poop it in the computer. But it's the same with striking. You know, if you find something different, that's it. You know, that's why I always tell people, you know, start switching stances, start being different, because that's what it takes.
We've got one here from Ant Evans. He was curious, worst altercation outside of the cage that you were in? Any big, you know?
Oh, well, they can Google the Swedish Bas Rutten Swedish bar fight story, but it's against 5 bouncers, so that was pretty gnarly. It's fun to talk about, but they wanted to keep me there for 6 months or 9 months in jail. I was in jail there, so it was kind of scary, but absolutely not my fault. They were notorious. The Mafia Bouncers, that's their nickname. Literally, that's what the magazine said. Did really well for my street self-defense sales. You know why? So they had the bouncer, they say, in the newspaper with a picture of the cover of my street fighting DVD. They said we were very happy the police came because we couldn't handle him. And my sales through the roof. It was insanity. So, yeah, that was a crazy story. You know, once you go to jail, and then you're still not allowed to make a phone call, and then one of the guards, because thankfully they were all fans, so they bring me coffee. I was playing cards with them, I had a TV, I had everything, and he gave me a cell phone. He says, call your wife. And I said, I really appreciate that. And the funny story is, before I went in, this is what people like. My wife doesn't think it's funny, but I think it's hilarious. Before I went in, I called my wife in the bar, and I was drunk already. And she says, what are you laughing? I say, I'm just drunk, honey. I'm just having fun. And she goes like, no, you're there with 2 Swedish blonde girls, aren't you? I go, you know me. When I drink, alcohol is more important at this moment, so don't worry about it. So then 2.5 days later, when they allowed me to make my first phone call, she was, of course, freaking out. And I called her and said, hey, honey, I have only a very short amount of time. What do you want to hear first, the good news or the bad news? She says, the good news. I didn't have sex with 2 Swedish girls. What's the bad news? I said, I'm in jail. You think that's funny? I go, that's pretty funny.
I got. You told me at Miami one time something I didn't know. I don't think a lot of people know. It's funny. It resurfaced on Twitter just the other day with all the talk about GTA 6. So you actually you're part of canon with GTA.
Crazy, right?
You've done some, yeah. What have you done with GTA? What do you have to do with that?
Grand Theft Auto, all the fighting you see is actually me. We're doing the motion cap, and we changed the whole video game because everybody's punching the air. And I look at him, I said, listen, I have a better idea. He goes, what do you mean? I said, let me hit something solid, because I think you will see that. Because if you hit something, there's power coming back. He says, yeah, we don't have anything. I said, we came prepared. We brought our stuff, our focus mitts. And I was putting all that suit with the crazy little balls on them. And I start hitting it, and they were freaking. I mean, everybody was cheering, because now literally in slow motion, you see connecting, and the power comes back. And then all video games start doing that. But before that, it was just people hitting the air. So, but also the carjacking and the robberies, all that we did. You know, and then the best thing is, I have a 10-minute part interview, a news show, in the men's room with Bas and Jeremy. That's what it's called. And I'm a complete psychopath. It's hilarious. I had to send the people out of the studio because they kept messing up my takes because everybody was dying laughing. I go, dude, I can only be natural for such a long time, so get out, let me do this crazy thing and sound like a psychopath, you know. But in front of a live audience, I was challenging. I said, who wants to knife fight with me in the audience? You know? Yeah, that's funny. Watch it on YouTube, GTA 4, Bas Rutten, and it will pop up the TV show. It's funny.
Do you play the games?
No, I don't, because I have a very addictive personality, and I know that if I start, I can't stop. Yeah, and that's wasting time, my friend. I'm not going to do that.
We've got one from Christian here. He says, does Bas know that he looks jacked in that shirt?
Yeah, oh, I am. Now I'm actually feeling good. I just told my wife I'm losing a little bit of weight because I'm doing the carnivore diet. But I'm so free. I'm already was always, I got 7% body fat, but now it's even worse. They did stem cells on me. They tried to get our fat out. And then out of the fat, they get your stem cells and they start multiplying them. 1 hour and 45 minutes took it. They said we've never seen anything. And I video that it's just like a vacuum cleaner goes on. So imagine you see the whole, they go over my body, they go everywhere on my back. They couldn't find freaking 60 milliliters. It's nothing. That's what you're allowed with to go to the airport. He said this morning I took like 150 milliliters out of somebody's chin, he said. In 5 minutes, he says, we can't find it. I got bruised everywhere. It was a nightmare. So I would love to have a little bit more fat. I know a lot of people don't want it, but I feel a little bit better if I do, but I can't keep it on. It's really weird.
Last question, I guess, for me is, you know, as you've gotten older, how has your perspective towards fitness changed and keeping yourself in shape?
I do short workouts. I do everything is about a 40-minute maximum workout. Well, if I'm on a treadmill, it's longer. Treadmill also, I'm just walking, but I go incline 20. And then I go. And I'll go 15 minutes front, 10 minutes back, 15 minutes front, 10 minutes back, like that. It's really hard on the legs, so it's good for me. And then cable machine routines. I love doing that because I do punching drills with cable machines. And if you do them single, only right, only left, then you're constantly working your core as well because you constantly get pulled. And then I do the reverse muscle as well. But it's like 35, 40 minutes. But everything I do is supersets. Like you see me in the gym, you'll have no time to talk to me. Because first of all, I have a headset on because I don't like to talk. And I do, while I do biceps, I go triceps, so now the biceps can rest. I go back to the, everything's ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. So I try to do a lot in a short amount of time. And the back thinking is always, you know, I don't have to fight anymore. But what if I get into a fight on the street? It's going to be short, right? It's going to be intense, so why not train for that? Yeah. So that's what I can do.
And to close this out, Friday Combat 43, why should people tune in?
Oh, the card, man. Now, first of all, GSP is going to be there as well, right? That's it. But look at the card. Look at the card. Look at the card, the fighters that we have. Like I said before, in the opening, we're going to touch on 3 fights because there's 2 title fights and then the main event, of course, with Pettis. But if it was me, I would like to talk about all the freaking fights because they're all good. There's going to be a lot of fun to show. So for people who don't know karate, again, I already mentioned, Rafael Gaev beat Raymond Daniels. There you have karate. Karate has arrived. So these are not just guys screaming. No, they know how to fight. And we have guys, they're going to open the floodgates now for Karate Combat also. In the beginning, it was only karateka's and black belts need to come in. But I believe that next year or something, they will open up. And then any striker can come. Because now everybody started cross-training. And it's fun to see that evolution because we saw fights in the beginning when somebody would like hit somebody, yeah, and he stopped, and the other guy just kept going. He goes, oh shoot, yeah, I gotta keep on going. So everybody started cross-training and kickboxing and boxing, and now we have these Olympic-level karatekas fighting full contact. What is not to love, you know? Put the whole family together, your kids, everybody can watch this because it's not like bare-knuckle boxing, which I don't mind, but for a kid, I think it's a little bit too much. And it's same as in MMA, you know, it's for kids. That's the only thing I'm saying. I think the demographic in karate, watching karate, is much larger than in any other martial art sport, contact sport.
I love it. Bas, thank you so much for the time.
Oh, I really appreciate it. Godspeed, Vatos. This one is behind. I'm still talking on this one. Ah, hey. Thank you very much.